pleasure. Did I say that right?
Well, I think so.
Yeah. I'm speaking to Bob
if you really meant it.
I do. I'm talking to Mr. Bob Wells, but in Cleveland, we know him as Hoolihan.
There you go.
Hey, and you come back only once a year.
That's it.
For the Glardy Fest.
I used to come back some years ago because both of my daughters, I have a girl, boy, girl, and as they went to Malone College down to Canton, as they graduated, of course, we came up for that. So, but other than that, it's a Glardy Fest, and that's it.
Let me take you back a bit. 1951, KWBE.
Goodness sakes, you've done some research.
Your very first broadcast, 18 years old, your very first broadcasting job. How did you get it, and what were you doing?
Well, boy, now you're really going.
Don't tell me you're sweeping the floor.
Yeah, no. No, this was the between my high school graduation and going to college that fall back in Lincoln. Beatrice, Nebraska, was like 35 miles south of Lincoln. And, you know, I don't know how I got the job. I think I maybe saw an ad someplace, drove down there and made the audition. And, I mean, you know, high school kid, I mean, between high school and college, you wonder if you're ever going to get a job, you know. But son of a gun, they apparently liked what they heard, so they signed me on for the summer. And I drove.
Was that always your dream to be in radio?
Oh, absolutely. When I was, about 16, I guess, I just got my first car, 32 Ford. My folks bought a 38 Chevy. This is 1951, remember? Give you an idea of our financial situation at the time. Anyway, I used to go out to
the... That was a rural Nebraska, wasn't it?
There's a Veterans Hospital out on like 72nd Avenue, which at that time was in the country. No longer, it's all surrounded. Anyway, I used to go out there, and I was the paper boy for the hospital. I did the rounds, you know, and would sell newspapers and deliver them. And they had a radio, what they called a wired wireless radio station there, where the guys or the gals would be on their beds and they could turn a switch and get me if they wanted to, or several other channels. And I would play these huge 16-inch discs, the old Armed Forces radio, which went from the middle of the disc to the outside. Well, that's
about 15 minutes worth of time.
Yeah, like you really cared about that part. But anyway, and I would introduce them, and the old Benny Goodman and Artie Shaw and all the great band leaders. I would play that music, and that was it. Of course, maybe 10 people at any given time would ever hear it. But I was on the air. I mean, hello, or through the wires in this case. But anyway, that's how I started. And there was a guy at one of the local regular radio stations. I visited him at night, unbeknownst to management. And he let me run the commercials during the 10 o'clock news. This is Central Time.
He was just doing it live.
Yeah. Okay. Well, he was preparing, the newscast that followed, a little 5-minute newscast, until finally, I did that for months, and management didn't know it. Well, I wasn't on the air, so how would they know unless they asked? And finally, the newscaster, I got to be such good friends with him, that he let me do the commercials in that 15-minute newscast. Well, now you're hearing me. Well, my voice had dropped enough, so I sounded, pretty decent, except management heard it, read him the riot act, and I was no longer at the radio station. So that was I thought my career was over at that point. But then I got the KWBE job that summer. Then I came back into Lincoln, and then I got on with another 1,000-watt station there in Lincoln. And I was
2 blocks away or 3 or something.
Well, no. At least to the suburbs.
At least, okay.
Yeah, what the heck. So I did that all during when I was going to college, and then I went off to the military pilot training with the Air Force, knowing I'd come back to the Nebraska Air National Guard at the air base next door there. And so now I'm going to school. I am flying with the Air National Guard, and I'm on the local radio station again. I came back to that same station.
Right.
So I worked on that through the rest of my college days.
And then you majored in?
Radio and television.
Radio, television.
Predictably, did some theater as well. But I always wanted to be on radio and television.